Okay, thank you for the time. Good day, everyone. I am pleased to present our research title, Development of a Survey Tool for Gender Dynamic in Coconut Farmer Household and Implication for Pest Management. This project was a collaborative effort between researchers from the Philippines, Indonesia, and Papua New Guinea. Let me walk you through the background, objective, methodology, and key finding of our work. We know the importance of coconut farming, where it's more than just a livelihood for millions of people. However, the industry is facing major challenges. First, pests and diseases, which can devastate entire plantation. And second, climate change and unstable market condition. Aside from this, there is another important but often overlooked factor: gender roles in pest management, where recognize the distinct but interconnected roles of men and women is crucial. Next, please. Thus, our objective was to develop a tool to identify gender roles in coconut farming household, which can allow gender-responsive pest management intervention that should generate data on the roles and responsibility of men and women in coconut farming, their knowledge, attitude, and practices, and understanding the gender-specific challenges and opportunity in relation to IPM. Next, please. We conducted the study in three major coconut processing countries: Luzon and Visayas in the Philippines, North Sumatra in Indonesia, and Madang in Papua New Guinea. The GAM tool included four main sections to gather data on: first, socio-economic profile of respondent; gender roles in farming activity; knowledge, attitude, and practices on IPM; and also a 24-hour activity profile. To ensure the tool effective and relevant, we validate, pilot test, and translate it into local language to conduct a small survey. Next, please.
Hello, everyone. Now we'd like to share this result and key insight from our study. In farmer demographics, most respondents were male with 9 to 31 female-male ratio. In all sites, most households were male-headed, but Visayas had the highest proportion of joint-headed household, indicating a more collaborative approach to decision-making. Most farmers belong to the older group, 46 to 60 years old, indicating that cocoa farming is aging. Next slide, please. In coconut farming practices in northern Sumatra, farmers rely on experiential knowledge for pest management, using pesticide but not adopting biological or cultural control. In Luzon and Visayas, most farmers are highly involved in labor-intensive tasks with minimal mechanization, while in PNG, men do seedbed preparation and planting, and both men and women do watering and weeding, with no use of machinery due to a community sharing culture. Next slide, please. In post-harvesting processing in Indonesia, pressed coconut harvesting and direct selling are the main activities, while the Philippines focuses on pressed coconut sales, copra production, and processing cocoa wine and vinegar. In PNG, they primarily engage in copra, virgin coconut oil, and soap production with minimal involvement in other coconut-based products. Next slide, please.
In pest management practices, almost all farmers interviewed can identify pests and use pesticides. There is very limited to no use of biocontrols within the 4 locations. Some farmers have attended some level of training, showing limited access to crucial information. Next slide, please. Farmers were asked on their considerations in choosing pest management strategies, of which cost and effectiveness was found to be the most critical factors. Next slide, please. From the 4 locations of study, most farmers practice inspection, sanitation, and removal of pests on a regular basis. Next slide, please. The graphs show that although a minority of farmers have general knowledge on pesticides, majority of them have very limited to no knowledge on pesticides mode of action. Next, please. Many farmers interviewed also admitted to using chemical pesticides, while there is extremely low adoption of biocontrol in all 4 locations of study. Next, please. Indonesian farmers are most confident in identifying pests, while only a few are willing to adopt non-chemical pest management methods. Next, please. Farmers in Indonesia and Philippines have expressed lack of attendance to trainings, while all 4 locations have expressed no record keeping. Next, please. Gender differences presented here is based on physical strength, limitations to do work, proportion of farm work and housework, and opportunities, of which most farmers in the survey believed there are gender differences in coconut farming in all 4 locations. Next, please.
So here we present the perception of the farmers on who does what, where the male farmers consider coconut farming as an 80-20 men to women's work, while female farmers say it's 60-40. Next slide, please. Now we ask our respondents to assign specific tasks if these should be done by men, women, or both, represented by the colors blue, purple, and peach respectively. And here we see that male farmers perceive that coconut production activities should be done by men, while female farmers think they mostly do watering and weeding. Next slide, please. Here we see that female farmers considered sap processing to be more of a woman's work, while male farmers perceive less women participation in heavier tasks for fresh coconut like harvesting and hauling. Next slide, please. For mature nuts, male farmers think women have little role except for the husking and drying of cocoa meat, while female farmers believe they do most of the post-processing work and considers joint participation in many activities. Next slide, please. In terms of pest management, most female farmers consider participation of both men and women in diagnosis and cultural control. Next slide, please. Now here is the actual data on tasks undertaken by our men and women farmers. So the results show here that the participation gap for general production in both genders is minimal, where both male and female coconut farmers are actively involved. Unlike the earlier perception, watering is a task shared fairly equally between men and women. Next slide, please. Previously, also it was shown that female farmers perceive sap processing as done by either women farmers or both, but in actuality, the female farmers surveyed were only participating in coconut vinegar production. Next slide, please. In perception, all activities related to fresh coconut production were male-dominated according to men, but we can see here that women's perception are more correct, where they both strongly participate in the harvest and selling of fresh nuts, even in hauling and transport activities. Next slide, please. This figure shows that women farmers indeed have a high participation rate in terms of mature nut processing and handling, even in labor-intensive tasks like nut harvesting and copra processing. Next slide, please. Previously, activities related to finances were considered by male farmers as a man's job. This shows, however, that aside from getting a loan, transacting with brokers and direct selling are done by both men and women, although the overall financial participation remains limited. Next slide, please. Earlier, it was also presented that most IPM tasks are for men, which was true here in this data on the actual activities, with 74% of men identifying pest issues compared to only 11% of women. For our recommendations, which will be presented by April.
April, you are still mute.
Number 1, ensure equal access to training for men and women by conducting household-based invitation rather than assuming male attendance. Number 2, offer flexible schedules and local language materials and engage female facilitators to make women feel more included. Improving women's access to knowledge enhances their capacity to contribute to pest control and farm decision-making, leading to a more inclusive and effective pest management outcome. Next slide, please. Recognize women's role in the farm household by documenting women's contribution during needs assessment and household surveys. Include women in farmer registries and pest surveillance activities, and highlighting women knowledge and leadership in community pest management efforts. Another slide, please. Next slide, please. Encourage shared decision-making in pest management by promoting joint consultation during extension visit, train both spouses or adult family members together, and facilitate dialogues within household about pest risk and management options. Another recommendation is tailor intervention to each region and culture by location specific. Take into account local pest pressure, land tenure system, and gender roles. Culturally sensitive, respecting traditional structure will promote the equitable participation and design using tools like the gender analysis matrix to assess intra-household dynamics before implementation.
20 seconds.
As we reflect on the outcome of our research, we also identified several important directions for future studies to build what we have started. First, we recommend expanding the geographic scope. Second, we encourage deeper exploration of youth and intergenerational roles. Next, the third, we suggest looking into gender and technology adoption. And finally, future research should further explore cultural context. Next.
For our learnings, we're thankful for everyone, and we have learned a lot in incorporating the gender lens into a very technical side of coconut. So we may proceed to the last slide. So we are thanking everyone for your attention, and this is our data.